Hello everyone. In this presentation we're talking about context clues. Context clues are what we use to help establish meaning for words that we do not recognize while reading. Now I have to emphasize this. This is something that is so incredibly valuable for you, not just for this class, but for all of your academic pursuits. Through these strategies we're going to be talking about on the next slide, you will be able to make meaning where previously you would not have been able to. It's going to skyrocket your vocabulary ability, your reading level, and honestly, your overall livelihood, because suddenly you'll be more adept at reading and communicating, and it really will be something that is worth your time in this assignment. Let's take a look at those 5 explicit strategies that are going to help you become better readers, writers, and students as a whole. So there's these 5 strategies. Now there may be more. These are the 5 that I chose to include in this short presentation to help you become better at identifying words in context. And we can see the first one is synonym and antonym. Sometimes right in the sentence with an unknown word, there is a synonym or another word with the same meaning attached to the sentence. Other times, there's a word or group of words that has the opposite meaning that reveals a definition for an unknown word. We could take a look at those examples there. The second one, it says, although some men are loquacious, others hardly talk at all. So the word that may be unknown for us is loquacious. At the end of the sentence, we see we have the opposite of loquacious. Hardly talk at all. So some men are loquacious, others hardly talk at all. So based on that antonym, that group of words that serves as the opposite meaning, we can establish that loquacious probably means something close to talkative or loud, maybe. The next one is your personal experience or prior knowledge. This can be a very powerful way to identify words as we reflect for just a moment on any prior experience we may have with a word or the surrounding words. This is a bank of information that you continually add to as you continue to actively participate in your own education. So don't get discouraged if you feel like you don't have much of a bank to work with now. Hopefully you have something significant going, but just understand you'll continue to add to that. The third one is an explanation. The unknown word is explained within the sentence or in a sentence immediately preceding or after. And this example helps illustrate this explanation strategy really well. It says, the patient is so somnolent that she requires medication to help her stay awake for more than a short time. The word somnolent, we can establish a meaning based on the explanation that we get later in that same sentence. It says she's so somnolent that she requires medication to help her stay awake. So if she requires medication because she is somnolent, we can establish that this is a sickness. And we get even more detail that help us further refine our definition. It says to help her stay awake. So maybe she has a sickness related to her falling asleep. Maybe she's fatigued. But that quickly we're able to establish a definition for somnolent because of that explanation that we get in the sentence. We just have to closely examine it. Second to last strategy there is example. Sometimes there's specific examples included that help define the term. And the example we get example sentence to practice this example strategy. Celestial bodies, such as the sun, moon, and stars, are governed by predictable laws. So that list, those examples there, sun, moon, and stars, we can establish a celestial body is a object in space at the very least, right? We have sun, moon, and stars. These are all different things out there in the universe, in space. So though maybe not a perfect definition, we have examples that help us create our own, at least general understanding of what celestial bodies are. And the one at the bottom, etymology, is a very powerful way to establish meaning for unknown words. Etymology is the study of words, and we know English is unique because it borrows and has borrowed so many words from so many different languages that the study of words and the understanding of roots, prefixes, and suffixes can help us decipher meaning with little else to guide us. So let's take a look at an example. Incredible. We may have an understanding of what incredible means. This is just a good example, I feel, that illustrates the power of etymological knowledge. So the root of incredible is credible, and the prefix there is in. We take a look at those separate pieces, we can establish that credible means believable. Credibility is very important, especially as it pertains to upcoming things we'll be talking about. Credibility is to be believable. And another word for in, our prefix, can be un. So another way of saying incredible would be unbelievable. This simple breaking down of the word to its basic parts can be a very, very powerful way to establish meaning for words we may have never had any experience with. Okay, here are the 5 strategies. Go ahead and complete the practice sheet. Once you've completed those practice questions, paying careful attention to the evidence that we use to establish our definitions, then make sure we submit that to Google Classroom. Now, I don't expect us to come up with dictionary definitions, and I understand we're doing this on computers, so it may be tempting to simply Google a word, but for the purposes of practicing using context clues, I'm going to encourage you not to do that. That is not the purpose of this type of exercise. When we're able to Google definitions, that's fantastic, and we should take advantage of technology when we can. However, this type of exercise is strengthening our ability to decipher words without turning anywhere else. And so even I would rather our definition be a tiny bit off and us having came up with it using one of these strategies than have a perfect definition that we just Googled. So keep that in mind as we're doing this assignment. All right, everyone. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm available through tutoring or simply send me an email. Thank you.